It began on hot summer nights in Los Angeles, 1984. Residents slept with their windows open, unaware that evil was already watching. A man, tall and gaunt, dressed in black, crept through quiet neighborhoods while the city dreamed. He didn't break in for money. He came for fear. The newspapers didn't have a name for him yet. To the LAPD, he was just another faceless intruder leaving chaos behind. But soon, the pattern emerged. Homes ransacked, lights left flickering, victims attacked without reason or mercy, each crime more brutal than the last. Witnesses described a pale face, rotting teeth, eyes that looked like the devil himself. He seemed to vanish as quickly as he appeared, leaving behind pentagrams scrawled on walls and whispers of satanic rituals. The media called him the Night Stalker, a name that would haunt California for decades. What terrified people most wasn't just the murders. It was that there was no pattern, no age, no race, no gender spared. Everyone was a target. From children to elderly couples, the Night Stalker struck wherever darkness fell. As fear spread, people began nailing their windows shut, sleeping with lights on, and buying guns for the first time. The city was paralyzed by paranoia. Detectives worked day and night, connecting fingerprints, shoe prints, and strange symbols left behind. But Ramirez always seemed one step ahead, a ghost slipping through the cracks. By the end of that summer, Los Angeles wasn't just scared, it was hunted. And Richard Ramirez was just getting started. By the summer of 1985, Los Angeles had turned into a city under siege. Every night brought another break-in, another murder, another whisper of the Night Stalker. The public was terrified, but the police were desperate. Every crime scene felt like a message, one written in blood, fear, and chaos. Then, one morning, detectives discovered something that changed everything. At a home in Whittier, a young woman had been brutally attacked, but somehow survived. Shaking and terrified, she gave police a description. Tall, thin, messy black hair, and a mouth full of decayed teeth. His eyes, she said, were black and cold, like he wasn't human. But it was what investigators found outside that really mattered. In the flower bed beneath a window, a distinct shoe print, size 11.5 obvious sneaker, pressed deep into the soil. The same pattern had been seen at multiple other crime scenes. It became their first solid lead. Meanwhile, the Night Stalker continued to taunt his victims. He broke into homes, ate food from their refrigerators, and left behind satanic symbols. Sometimes he spared lives, not out of mercy, but to spread terror through the survivors' stories. The LAPD and the Sheriff's Department launched a joint task force, flooding neighborhoods with patrols and warnings. But Ramirez seemed unstoppable, moving from city to city like a phantom. The media frenzy grew. His name filled headlines, talk shows, and radio broadcasts. California wasn't just afraid, it was obsessed. Behind closed doors, investigators built a profile. They weren't just hunting a killer. They were hunting a man who believed he was the devil's messenger. And soon, the devil would make a mistake. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. By August 1985, Southern California was trapped in a nightmare. Every night, news anchors repeated the same warning. Lock your doors. Close your windows. The Night Stalker is still out there. But finally, investigators got a break. At one crime scene, Ramirez had left behind more than fear. He had left fingerprints. Detectives matched them to a petty criminal from El Paso, Texas, with a long record of theft, drug use, and violence. The name was Richard Ramirez. The mugshot sent shockwaves through California. Within hours, his face was everywhere, on TV, in newspapers, on wanted posters plastered across Los Angeles. For the first time, the public knew who their monster was. But Ramirez wasn't hiding. He was watching. He saw his face on television screens inside convenience stores. Realizing the hunt was closing in, he fled by bus toward East Los Angeles. But fate had already decided his end. A woman recognized him and screamed, "El Matador, the killer!" In seconds, the entire neighborhood erupted. Dozens of residents poured into the streets, chasing Ramirez down. He ran through alleys, leaping fences, desperate to escape, but there was nowhere left to run. When police arrived, they found him bloodied, surrounded by angry citizens. Someone had struck him with a metal bar. Another had ripped off his jacket. The man who had once terrorized millions was now begging for his life. As officers handcuffed him, the crowd shouted in unison, not in fear, but in victory. After over a year of terror, the Night Stalker had finally been caught. But for California, the nightmare was far from over, because what came next would reveal just how twisted Richard Ramirez truly was. When Richard Ramirez walked into the courtroom for the first time, silence fell. Clad in black, with long, greasy hair and a cold smirk, he raised his hand to the cameras and revealed a pentagram carved into his palm. "Hail Satan," he whispered. It wasn't a defense, it was a performance. The nation watched in disbelief. The man who had terrorized California for over a year now treated his murder trial like a spectacle. He smiled at cameras, winked at reporters, and even flirted with young women who filled the gallery seats, fascinated by the face of evil. But behind the theatrics was a mountain of evidence. Forensic teams matched fingerprints, shoe prints, and ballistic tests linking Ramirez to at least 13 murders, 5 attempted murders, and 11 sexual assaults. Survivors testified through tears, recounting nights filled with screams, gunshots, and the smell of sulfur. Prosecutors painted him as more than a killer. They called him a sadistic predator who hunted for pleasure. Ramirez, meanwhile, thrived on the attention. He laughed during testimony, drew pentagrams on his notepads, and even told reporters, "You don't understand me. You never will. I am beyond good and evil." But the evidence was undeniable. DNA, fingerprints, eyewitnesses all pointed to one conclusion. The jury took less than a week to find him guilty on all major counts. When asked if he had any final words before sentencing, Ramirez smirked and said, "You can't kill me. I am already dead." The judge sentenced him to death by gas chamber. And as the guards led him away, his final words echoed in the courtroom, a reminder that evil sometimes enjoys the spotlight. After the verdict, Richard Ramirez was sent to San Quentin State Prison, where he would spend the rest of his life on death row. But behind bars, he didn't fade away. He became a dark celebrity. Letters poured in from across the country. Some called him a monster. Others, disturbingly, called him a misunderstood icon. A group of admirers, mostly young women, began writing him love letters, even proposing marriage. To them, he wasn't the Night Stalker. He was the mysterious man who defied society, the villain they wanted to understand. Ramirez embraced it. He granted interviews, sketched satanic symbols, and boasted that his crimes had given him eternal life. But behind that smirk, the years began to show. Isolation, illness, and age eroded the predator who once prowled the streets. His teeth rotted away, his skin turned pale, and his eyes, once burning with hate, dulled with time. In 2013, almost 3 decades after his capture, Richard Ramirez died of cancer before his execution could be carried out. There was no fanfare, no ritual, no haunting last words, just silence. Yet, his legacy of fear remains carved into California's history. The neighborhoods he terrorized still remember locking their windows, praying through sleepless nights, and watching the news with trembling hands. He left scars not just on his victims, but on the very idea of safety itself. Today, documentaries, podcasts, and YouTube channels still revisit his story, a cautionary tale about evil that hides in plain sight. Because Richard Ramirez didn't just kill people, he killed trust. And for many, the Night Stalker still walks in the dark corners of memory, waiting for the lights to go out.